So how are we going to go about installing VS Code? Well, the first step is just to download and run the installer. This is a pretty straightforward step. Same on Mac and PC. We can find the extensions tab. Once that is done, we can install the following extensions: the C++ extension from Microsoft, and optionally, but recommendedly, the Unreal Engine 4 Snippets extension by Captain Caps. So let's see how this works. Follow the link in the resources to get to code.visualstudio.com. There's a fairly prominent download button there, and it should automatically have detected your platform. If not, there's a drop down for other platforms. Click download and wait for the executable here to download. You can see it's a fairly small download, so it will only take 10 seconds or so, depending on the speed of your internet, of course. So do go ahead and get that started. Now I'm going to go ahead and open it because it has downloaded for me. So you can pause and follow along once you've got that download. So on a Mac, it's going to be downloading a zip file instead of the executable that we got on Windows. And when we click to open this executable, it automatically extracts, and we end up with a Visual Studio Code application here, which you can just go ahead and drag into your applications folder to install it. And then you can launch it from Spotlight by typing in Visual Studio Code and allowing it to open. You may need to allow the opening of things from the web in your system settings. Then you click open and it shouldn't ask you that again. And that should bring us to a page like this. Then we're going to go through the installation wizard. I'm going to accept the agreement, choose the default installation location and the default start menu folder name. You can click through to the next. I don't want a desktop icon, but there are a couple of other options here that are nice, which allow me to launch Visual Studio Code from Windows Explorer. So I can go ahead and check those two options off as well. I can click next, I can click install, and this is a much smaller piece of software than either Xcode or Visual Studio because it doesn't include a compiler, which is a big heavyweight piece of software, and you can see it has installed incredibly quickly for me. I didn't even have to pause the video, and maybe you won't have to pause either. So if you're following along, let's go ahead and launch Visual Studio Code now. I'll click finish and it will automatically launch for me. And if you've never used it before, this is kind of what it's going to look like. You're going to get this start page and nothing open by default. I've got a few recent projects because I use Visual Studio Code on a daily basis, but you may not. So the next thing we need to do is install some extensions. There is an extension tab here. It's the last one in the left-hand pane tab bar, and you hover over it. It says extensions. We can click on that and it will show us the extensions that are currently installed. If this is new software for you, you won't have any extensions. I already have a few. But the ones I mentioned were the C++ by Microsoft and Unreal Engine 4 Snippets by Captain Caps. Now you can search for these in the search bar at the top. So I can search for C/C++, and you can see that it's going to come up with lots of options. But the first option is the extension by Microsoft. That's the one you want to go ahead and install. And then the next one is the Unreal Engine 4 Snippets, and again there's quite a few extensions here that help with this, but the one you're looking for is the one by Captain Caps. Now, if at the time of recording this one's still called Unreal Engine 4, even though it works just fine for Unreal Engine 5, if this has been renamed in the future, do try searching for slight variations. That might be something like Unreal Engine Snippets instead, and you might find it that way. But I'll try and keep the video updated with any changes. So once you've got those two extensions installed and Visual Studio Code up and running, that's it for this lecture. You have successfully got ready to start programming in C++, and I'll see you in the next video.